sounds off. This is not a draft. Okay. We're here today live in the new Defender's Den with our... This is not a draft. We are live here in the Defender's Den at our new location at Arizona Veterans Resource Center. I am the founder of said Arizona Veterans Resource Center and captain of this ship that we call the Defender's Den, where we host activities for veteran events, veteran forums, any kind of engagement. We're inviting other organizations to use our space as a venue to serve the community with resources, webinars, workshops, just bringing information that's spread across the state. Let's bring it into one house under one roof. We'd like to say that we are a one-stop hub, one-stop shop, however you'd like to take it. We don't say no here. This is not a draft. It was kind of a funny way to welcome you guys back to the spotlight. We're in transition, so things are a little shifty. My goal is to make this consistent as possible, a cool viewing experience, and I know that your time is valuable and we want to make it count. We want to make it impactful, just like the people who have come to this space in the past week. In the last 2 weeks, the events that have occurred within our organization and the people that support us, we want to give the opportunity to celebrate what's happening around us and the impact that's happening because we have landed here. And there's a lot of work to do. The integration is tough. As we all know, transitions are hard, especially when transitioning out of the military. There's a lot of obstacles to traverse. And we're not in it alone, and it does take time, but we're doing it with a little bit of grace. And thank you for holding on and still coming in and viewing with us. Today, I have a really cool guest. We've had to shuffle some things around. This is raw content. I have some bags under my eyes. I usually have like a really cool spotlight that takes away some of my aging effects, but I'm going to age gracefully as much as I can. I don't have this beautiful beard like this man over here, who I should probably introduce now. This is Mr. Jack Blair. He is our producer. He's also a filmmaker, and we got a cool opportunity to witness his, I don't know, how long is it, 2 years it took you to build the documentary?
Yep.
Yeah, so it was just released at the Chandler Film Festival, which they won Best Documentary. Hey! We've had a little change behind the scenes of our production crew. We have a work study back here, Mr. Turtle, Army veteran, as well as Mr. Johnny Be Good in the house. So so some of our equipment's not here today, but that's okay. We're going to be shifting some things around, like I said, and I just got to get to Jack here. There's no script today, so we're just going to go ad lib and start talking about your service. Jack's been on the show before. He interviewed me for our initial episode, and then he's been behind the scenes making me look pretty and all that. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're on. We go live because, just like life, you have to adapt and overcome and adjust to life on life's terms. And we can't just go back and filter and cut out. This is the reality of it. This is what's really happening. And I think we all do better when we just show up authentically, and it's just, I think life is more beautiful that way, met with the mindfulness, right? And I really like how your film instilled that. Like, you got to see the raw emotion of the individuals who were interviewed for the documentary. Their pain, their overcoming, their joy, the aftermath, all of it was just, I was locked in. And I brought a friend with me, and she was crying the whole time. I couldn't emote because I was just sucked. I felt like I was back there feeling it all, and I wasn't shaking my head, but internally, like, my body was like, yes, identifying. It was, oh man, I can't explain. It's so ineffable to me, but I'm sure you can as the filmmaker here. Tell us all about the entire experience better than I can. I want everyone to know what went into it and the why behind it, and then we'll circle back to how it encapsulates to the mission here in the Valley and what we're doing with veteran services and why this show is so important and where we're going to be leading this going forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I love coming on and doing this show with you each week. It's so much fun to be able to support the veteran community in this way. For me, I found the importance of veteran community after COVID. I had gone on a Treks for Vets hike through ASU, and they brought me back into a circle of veterans. And, you know, the hiking aspect, the being outdoors and nature thing, I had already been doing that on my own for years at that point. I love camping. I love overlanding. I've had a whole background experience with that. We have the Overland channel that I love going and putting on our content for off-roading and overlanding. But they really focused on bringing together veterans outdoors. And the power behind that experience just kind of started to shift something in me. And so with that, I was like, I want to go and I want to talk to veterans and I want to just get veteran stories out there, because I think there's so much power in being able to share those stories together. And so that is like my bottom line up front, why I do what I do, is because, you know, I've had some experiences in my past, and if you've seen the movie, I go into them a little bit. But, you know, I've had some experiences in my past that put me into depression and darkness and real struggles, right? And so I found that by spending time in veteran community, I was able to kind of really come out of those moments. So this is not a draft, was this passion project. It was something where I'd hit 10 years since I need to back up a little. 2014, May 21st, my son was killed and rocked my world and just blew me to pieces, right? Mentally, I wasn't there for a decade. And that's real stuff. It was a whole 10 years before I was able to come out of the space and really start to become a productive person again. Like I never gave up, but that was not because of me. That was because of the support that I had around me. My wife, who totally supported me and kept our family going when I was just totally crapped out. And without her, I'd be screwed, right? And that's the whole message, is that community is that support that we all have to depend upon. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was my family that held me up. But even in moments where like my wife was like, I don't know how to help this guy, you know, she was smart and ahead of her time, and she would reach out to my other veteran friends and ask them to engage me, like talk to Jack because I don't know what to say. And she did that on multiple occasions. We're barely getting into this, but I was in Afghanistan and I got word that we lost a soldier from my unit, and it was a suicide, unfortunately. And I had been back in Afghanistan for like a week or 2 weeks, and I had just landed in Kandahar, and Kandahar was where I'd found out about my son being killed. And so for me, that was just like such a moment. And that's one of those moments that really sticks out to me. John Oswald, I remember you. You were my brother. You were a friend. He was a Navy guy who had transitioned to the Army, just like I had. And so John Oswald and I, we would talk, and he was a higher rank than I was. So he was, you know, senior leader, but like he was super cool and super chill, helped me out, helped me get through my transition from wearing blue to wearing green. And when I lost him, that was like just one of those moments that really shakes you, because I had just gotten back to a place where I had found my darkest moments. Physically, I was back into a similar space, walking around the same places, the boardwalk in Kandahar. People know about that. Yeah. And it was just so terrible. I heard that. And then after that happened, I was fortunate enough to get reassigned to another base. A worse base. I went to Camp Shorebach, which is in Helmand Province. So we land in the helicopter, and they're shooting at us, right? And it's like Taliban shooting at us, engaging as we're landing in Helmand. And I'm listening to AC/DC, and the door gunner opens up on a 240, and I'm just like, this is the best day of my life. And I'm alive, and I don't want to be dead. Yeah. And so like action kind of brought me back a little bit, but that was really just more of not wanting to die. And realizing that I didn't want to die, which was a good feeling to have at that
You
moment.
can finally feel something.
Yeah, I could feel something. And that's, that's the dangerous part of the adrenaline junkies that a lot of us in the military end up getting to be, which is why we do extreme things. But, that was the first thing that kind of shocked me out of it. I had rewalked through all the spaces that I had gone through when I left Afghanistan. So going back to Afghanistan, it helped me walk down that path the opposite direction. And that was the first thing that I said kind of brought me out of my depression. And it didn't get me to overcome it, but it was the first moment where it was just like, I'm not just going to die here.
Yeah.
Like, I want to live a life. So that brings us back to why I started This Is Not a Draft. It had been 10 years since my son had died. And I really wanted to do something to honor his memory. I had grieved quietly. I had grieved internally, inside my family, inside my friendships, but I had not grieved openly. That just wasn't kind of something that I was comfortable with doing. And so part of telling my story was a little bit of, I want to honor my son. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to speak your name. Ian, I love you, buddy. I miss you. But, it's compartmentalizing was something I had to do for so many years just to wake up and get up and keep moving. But doing this has been extremely cathartic. I mean, I'm not the editor of our film, but I sat with the editor for hours and hours and hours, and we rewatched the parts. And I would tell him, like, hey, man, I can't watch my part. I can't watch my part because it's too much for me. And so that was hard.
Yeah.
But some of the other stories that I really loved hearing, and they're just so magical. Like, we're really blessed with the stories that we were able to receive. The stories that everybody shared with us, like Karen and Melvin, I cry every time. Every time. And I've edited that sequence so many times, and I cried every time. They talk about, I don't want to give away the whole movie.
I know, it touches on everything. All the components, it hit everything.
It was really
awesome. The entire
awesome.
Experience. Wow.
When you work on a documentary, it's not like being a narrative film writer, right? So if you're writing for narrative, you're creating a story. It's not a true story. It may be based on true events, but you get to mold it and shape it. You get to do some of that as a documentary filmmaker because there's editorial process, but like really we get whatever stories people give to us. So that was the pure magic that I could have never expected. And like the one thing about documentary, don't have people in it who don't want to be in it. It sounds like a very simple concept, but oftentimes like people won't commit to it. And I feel like we were really lucky to have trust from the fellow service members. I mean, somebody who wasn't a service member couldn't have made this film.
No.
Because they wouldn't have had that trust. And so I feel really lucky to have been able to get that trust from our contributors. It was such a cool experience. Like, it's been the last 2 years of my life. We've traveled for it. We filmed in DC, we filmed in New York, we filmed in San Diego, here in Phoenix.
And it was at the most where if someone was to make this film, they would go to said places to capture it all. But they wouldn't have that took your characters, the live people who experienced this, and took them to those places. And their name, their body was on the wall, and they touched it, and they emoted in front of it. Was just, oh my, I don't want to give it away either, but wow. You can't make that up. You can't have the best actor portray that in that kind of detail. It hit different, especially as a service member watching it. It just hits different.
And that's why I embrace live streaming. That's why this is coming to you live right now. There's no edits. This is us. This is who we are.
It helps me with all of my anxiety and all my resistance that I have. It's like, it's just go. Like you said, shots fired and you're reacting to it. And I think the adrenaline gives you the focus, and everything I do want to say does come out. It might not come out the way I'd like it to, but it gets out. And then that clears me, and I feel refreshed and more confident because of it. And then I find the power within myself and what I'm capable of, and the agency that I have. And there's nobody else who can take that responsibility for me. I get to show up and you press live and we go, and it's, man, I have literally got to get out of my own way. I'm like, you show up for what's up. The word will keep coming up. So it's just go, push play. And because we do this on the show, it's trickled throughout the rest of my life. It's like the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And then I just execute. And that's how we've gotten here, because this show actually helped me commit to this. Just go. Next evolution, next evolution, next evolution. You see it through. And always having the knowing that it's all going to work out for the highest good of the community, right? With that kind of intention leading me, it feels like you can't fail. Like you said, it's the support in this community. I can't do it by myself. We have the ancillary forces that are here with us with the same intention. And with that, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, it's still here. The stories that were shared in the doc, I resonated with most of it. And so the person I was with is a civilian, and I'm like, okay, this is somebody watching a film. But it was, for me, it was reliving something I had experienced. I don't have words to describe it, but I'm so grateful that you made it, you and your team, and all the people who stepped up to share. Some of it was like a movie. It's like, that really happened, like how the couple met, and it was really cool. And it's a love story, of course. Like,
of course. Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody expected that,
No.
right? That wasn't the goal from the beginning.
I even looked at her and I'm like, and it's a love story.
Yeah. No,
Way
we
to
got
go,
really
Jack.
lucky.
Way to go.
We got lucky. You know, it's one of those things where the right people show up to the party who are supposed to be there, right? I put out an invitation on LinkedIn, and I invited any veteran who had served after 9/11 to come on and be there. So if you wanted to be in the doc, you could have been if you'd only responded to the LinkedIn post. Just saying, people. But yeah, the right people showed up to the party and they made something magical. And like the stories, they're so impactful. Like, I love the moments we share. There's a moment where one of our veterans, his name's Grant, he's talking about his dad and about how he'd lost his dad and some of the experiences and things he wished he could have said. And just like, I love it because his dad's also a veteran. And so it's like veteran to veteran, but then it's all the father to son or son to father, like so many experiences. Our story is based around the military and around service and around 9/11, but it's just about people.
Yeah.
You know, I was at a film festival recently, and I was talking to another director, and he was encouraging me to apply for their film festival. And I was like, but it's in, this is in Spain. Like, is our story going to resonate? And he's like, it's about people. Your story will resonate because it's about people. Our people happen to be veterans, and they happen to have a particular outlook. But it is just a story about people serving and people living life and having experiences.
That's really interesting. I was on the Women Who Lead monthly Zoom thing that Kathy Gallowitz, retired lieutenant colonel, she does Vanguard veterans. She helps employers hire veterans, but it's for women in leadership who are either civilian or military. And there were some individuals on there who had full-on careers as like astronaut engineers. Shout out to Agnes Chow. And she's like, yeah, so I did this whole nearly 30 years in the aeronautical industry. And so her transition, she's like, well, what do I do now with the rest of my life? So her transition is the same when we leave an institution and we have to come back to civilian world, because it is just like that. And many other people who transition out of one career to another, or if they have to leave their career to take care of a loved one and the caretaking piece, it's all people, it's all life. And it's all about community, helping you get through your transitions and knowing that you're not alone and what to do next. We all go through those seasons. Like you said, COVID changed you. COVID changed me. COVID actually saved my life. Or the whole season of the pandemic changed my life, where it was probably terrible for many people. But it is about just life and holding each other up as we go through it together and help see each other through it. Because we're only as strong as our weakest link, right? And So that's what I was doing an hour before the show. I was helping another veteran, and I was late to the party here, so we didn't prep very much. But I was like, the people come first. And my dad raised me in retail, small business and stuff. And whatever you're doing behind the scenes, as soon as a person walks in the door, all eyes are on that person, the client, the person. That is first, mission first. Everything else is aside from that, whether it's for profit or just connection. You got to meet people where they are. I see you. Hi there. Even if you can't be there right now, you say, I'll be right with you. And then follow up with that. I got your back. There's so many instances where we can all relate to it. And I love that we have an open community here, that it's not just for the veterans, it's for the families and the caregivers, and just other people want to know how to support the veteran community. We welcome them here to learn more about it. As with anything, right? Just being open-minded to hear the other side out, and then finding the similarities from there instead of the differences, instead of continuing to segregate the cultures. And we're all alone here together, so let's figure it out, man. There's no plan B. As much as we'd like to think there's one brewing, I don't think that's something we should bank anything on right now.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on that. But that's the beauty of spaces like this, is that you're able to know those backstories when somebody walks through the door. You know a part of what their life is. You may not know everything about them, but when we know other people who've been either in the military, or if they are military affiliated, military connected, however you want to call it, right? Family members, they have all gone through an experience that people who haven't don't understand, and they don't understand. So that's why places like this are important, because you're able to come in, and people come in with a little bit of understanding more than what anybody else could give them.
I like that you said safety earlier too. You're like, people that felt safe enough to share. And that's what my goal here is, to have people feel safe when they come in, safe enough to share what's going on with them, instead of trying to hold it all together and having some kind of entitlement, because that's the only way they've been getting any kind of results before. It's like, you don't have to do that here.
Yeah.
And how do we make that work? Because that's a very thick mask, very heavy mask to take off, and to show that side to somebody. Because those wounds, we all grieve differently, sometimes silently, sometimes people look like they're holding it all together, and deep inside they're compartmentalizing some real shit.
Yeah.
And that wound it's painful. You don't want to touch it. Ow, And
Yeah.
we got to give people the opportunity to feel the ouch, instead of having all the guards up. It's like, yeah, I'm hurting. How can you help me get through this?
Yeah, I mean, they say that, if you don't have bad, then how do you know what good is? And that, sure, but I can just go for some good sometimes. But yeah, I mean, yes, life gives you perspective. When you go through bad times, you just need to have a support group. You need to have people around you. And you need to be that person first, right?
Yes.
That's the most important thing that people don't realize, is that you have to contribute and build community so that when you need it, it's there for you. Because if you are just self-isolating, like we so many do, then when you have that stumble, there won't be anyone to catch your fall. And if you lean out first and you create that space, this is shameless plug. We were at the film festival. I got hooked up through a guy named Jeff Reynolds with Papa
Producer?
Snoop.
Yeah,
producer Jeff Reynolds. He hooked us up meeting Papa Snoop. Papa Snoop is Snoop Dogg's dad. Really cool Army veteran.
And a veteran. He's still got shrapnel in his body.
3 Purple Hearts,
Yeah.
2 tours.
I bet most people do not know that about him.
He's such a cool, humble guy.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, we had dinner together, we talked, we had a great time. I enjoyed meeting him, but I loved hearing his stories, and I loved hearing his perspectives. I'm trying to remember why I went down this route, but the point was, lost it.
Community.
Intentional community. So one of the compliments that he gave us here in Arizona was the fact that the Arizona community of veterans is really strong and supportive. So, tap on the back to you. And bravo Zulu for all the people who get that, what that is. But, it was a little disheartening for me to hear that when he's in Georgia, he feels like the community is just not the same. So I say, good job, Arizona. We're bringing out a really positive space for our fellow veterans. You got to create that community. You got to do it. To me, I'm not a preacher. I'm not that, but I come from a line of preachers, and sometimes I may push a point, and that's the point that I would want to push is, like, church has got something right. The one thing that they got right is community and instilling it in and having regular access to it, and that is what you should be doing. Find it however you want, right? There's all these affinity groups for veterans. There's overlanding for veterans. There's motorcycle riding for veterans. There's pool classes. There's playing guitars like they do here at the center. They've got music Fridays.
Yep. Every other Friday.
Every other Friday you can
I have
come
my
down
own
and play
guitar.
music.
I'm learning.
She's learning. That's right. Goldie told me.
Goldie said, I know you're grieving about whatever. She goes, strumming is good for grieving. And she taught me a few things, and rhythm and fear cannot coexist is something I learned from my psychiatrist a long time ago. And I was like, this is so true. I like strumming more than dancing, probably
There you
because
go.
it looks better.
Well, play your guitar 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
GCD. You can play every pop song ever with GCD. That's all you need.
Very true. Weezer made a fortune off of it.
There you go. There you go. So yeah.
So there's all the rec stuff.
Yeah.
And that's cool, right? But whatever we instill in our community, we have to be consistent and reliable. So I like that we have the house here that doesn't move, and we can house all the events and share the resources of those said groups that do the rec stuff. And in the interim, people can just hang out here and do all the other things that we're trying to build here as well.
We had an event Saturday for 24/7 project.
Project 24/7. When we're
24/7.
talking about accountability and creating systems, a mother, Michelle Cleveland, lost two of her children to suicide. One of her
Within
sons
30 days.
within 30 days. Yes, one of her sons took his life, and then the other son was so stricken with grief that he took his own life as well. So in her response, she created an app that helps you track your mental health. It's also built into where you tell all your friends, I'm going to be putting you into this kind of a call center, so to speak. You push one button. If you're in the fritz and you're in the midst of fight or flight and you're struggling, you don't have to call the crisis hotline. You can just push a button, and if nobody picks up, it automatically dials the next one, then the next one until somebody picks up, and you can let them know, I am struggling right now and I need help. I've used the 988 National Suicide Hotline, press option 1 for veteran assistance many times. And many times I've had to hang up. It just wasn't what I needed. But if I knew my family or my friends were on the other line and I didn't really have a choice, I'm like, it's going to keep dialing and somebody's going to pick up and, oh no, here I am. Yeah, hey sis, yeah, it's me. I'm going through it again. I need help today. Can you talk me through this? This is where I'm at. I think it's really cool to track your mental health, and you can export it to your provider so they can see where you were last week versus this week and kind of pick up your patterns. It's kind of like journaling digitally, and that takes awareness and practice like everything else. And she is part-time. She's here from Georgia as well, so she's launching this app. We used it was our first big event here in the new space that's not completely developed yet, but I want to give a huge thank you to the people who did show up for it. Happy Jack Media and Kaimisha Guy from Quiet Waters. Her and her family came and helped me build the event, run the event, set it up. It was a short turnaround for it to happen. And we had some vendors in here. We had hyperbaric oxygen chamber and some other holistic modality wellness groups came in, which is what we hail as like the ultimate relief from somatic pain and bringing your mind back to your body. So it was kind of beautiful to have that all come together. Even one of the vendors from State Farm, when she heard all of our speeches, she was like, wow, that's what you do here? Even one of our new female council members from Mesa showed up. And I didn't get to meet her because I was networking after that. I just got caught up in it all. And her words that were relayed back to me is that she was very impressed that the center exists here and that this is what we're going to continue to do. And I think that was cool to have Texas Roadhouse donated food to us. And Mike Jackson, Mikey Mike, he donated 2 oil changes. And we kind of raffled some things off, made it, gamified it a little bit, and had everyone download the app and just share another tool that's out there useful so people know that they're not alone and there's access. It takes practice to pick up that super heavy phone, but if you practice calling your friends just on your good days, it's not going to be so hard to pick it up when you're struggling.
That was what I picked up on, and my favorite part of the app and kind of how she was guiding us was you've got to flex that muscle so that when you need it, it's there. Mm-hmm. Just like building the community intentionally, proactively, so that when you need it, it's there. The same concept with this. She wants you to just go do practice, do it when you don't need it. That way you are in the habit of doing it, and then you're in the habit of reaching out to your people. You checking in on one of your buddies might help them in one of their dark moments. So that's why, like, this is just that thing that you need to get in the habit of doing, is reaching out to your folks and talking to them.
How hard was that for you to do when you were struggling? Did you ever do that?
I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. Absolutely not. Nope. That was not the process. I reached out to my wife, right? My wife was there. I was really lucky. She supported me. She took care of me. She kept the house going. She kept our lives going. I would lose jobs. I never lost a job. I would leave jobs. I would leave jobs because I would be done with it. I was done with the BS. And the problem is, when you go through trauma, nothing is ever as big of a deal as what's happened to you. Everything in life, nothing is as big of a deal as what happened to you. Because for all of us, our trauma is personal. It's us-centric, right? And so the worst thing that you've ever experienced is the worst thing that you've ever experienced. And so there's not another way for you to compare against that. And so whatever your worst trauma is, that's the worst thing that's happened to you. And that's how your scale works.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, that was...
The uniqueness in recovery circles, they call it terminally unique. You feel so unique that nobody can feel your pain. Nobody can help you and understand your grief. And that keeps you from getting help because you're like, no one's going to get me. Nobody understands. I don't need you. You'll never It's like, yes, but grief, we've all felt grief.
And it's a human experience. Yeah. I was sitting around a table eating naan and rice and biryani in Afghanistan. And I've been at this location for about 6 months, and I'm talking to the people who are there. It's local folks. And I'm telling my sob story about how my son was killed while I was serving in Afghanistan. I was in a room with like 8 other people. Every person at that table had lost a child to the war in Afghanistan. And so my whole I have the worst thing in the world that's ever happened to me got put into perspective, because that's what trauma is. Trauma is perspective. Mm-hmm. You have to have perspective, because somebody out there has had it worse than you. This one-upsmanship game that we're all playing together about I've had the worst trauma that anybody's ever had. No, somebody's had it worse than you. There's always somebody. And so for me, that moment of sitting at that table and them reassuring me that it hurts, but nobody says it's okay. Saying it's okay to somebody who's going through trauma is not really the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to just acknowledge the trauma and say that, like, I'm sorry that you're hurting, right? That must have been so bad. Mm-hmm. Because, telling someone that it's going to be okay, my kid's not coming back. That's not okay for me. I don't want that in my life. I want all of my kids, right? We joke in the film.
I don't know how many kids I have.
I don't know how many kids I have.
So many kids.
So, I have 4 kids who are alive, and it's a difficult question because one of my kids is my niece, and she's beautiful and amazing and a product of COVID. And so for me, like, COVID was something really positive because our whole family kind of came together. But, there's that whole experience. And so I don't know where to go from that, but.
Well, I've been in recovery for a long time, and I've got a lot of trauma therapy. And the number one thing I like to share with people is that there is no hierarchy in trauma. Your pain is your own pain. Yep. And if my assault was harder than your assault, and who am I to say mine is worse than yours? It's just like, there's no hierarchy. It's my pain. Right. We've both shared we both lost children, something like that. If you're in a support group, it just lets you know you're not the only one holding pain with a similar loss. Doesn't mean anyone's worse or better. It's just like, this sucks. It's hard. I'm in pain, and I just need to share it and know that you're not alone. But yeah, I just think more people need to talk about it instead of holding it in, because trauma is static and healing is flowing. So when we do these holistic modalities, it's moving that around. And the best medicine is being active, you know, getting out there and sharing with other people, helping other people, being of service, moving your body. Those things dislodge. It allows you to emote. At least that's what it did for me. And that's what I was sharing with the veteran I was helping before the show. Because if I'm standing still, my itty bitty shitty committee goes to town and starts telling me all the things that aren't true. Like, I have to continually check myself. Like, where's the evidence for that? There isn't any. It's just some shit talker in your head from wherever ago. And I just try to be more compassionate to the voice. I'm like, I hear you, but I'm going to go do this anyway. So I take the fear and take it with me anyway. And it doesn't make everything okay. I get to turn my pain into purpose, as we like to say, right?
Yeah,
and create beautiful art so others can feel it again, or feel something. To say, oh I can feel something for someone. I can have empathy, whereas there was this wall before and nothing ever got in. And you just showed me that I'm still capable of love for others, and maybe now I can find some love for myself. I think that's where it all starts, is self-love.
Yeah, for me, when we showed the documentary, we've shown it twice, and to two different audiences. One audience was friends and family, and the other one was publicly at a film festival. And the experience of the emotion, the experience of the laughter, of the tears, like, there's nothing more rewarding as a filmmaker to see the audience go through that, right? I sat in the middle of the theater for this second showing, and it's because I wanted to see the people in front and the people behind. I wanted to have both viewpoints so that I could turn and look and see how people were engaging with it. And it's magical. Like, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Go experience film in theaters, right? Streaming is great, but go to the theater, because if you're seeing something that matters, seeing it with other people is so powerful. Makes
you human.
Yeah.
You're like, I am part of some big collective. I'm not alone in this world, you know.
It's the really silly thing, but like, for people who watch Marvel films, when on your left, right, and we've got people coming back from the snap, right? Like, I know it's silly, but like, in the theater, people were cheering, right? Because people were coming together as an experience. And that's the kind of stuff that, as filmmakers, like, that we're trying to create. We're hoping to create and hoping to inspire.
Well, you did all that in spades, and you won. What's going to happen next?
You know, so we are working on distribution deal. We want to make sure that it gets out to the most amount of people so that it can have an impact. I'm still waiting to hear back. We might actually be showing it at Luke Air Force Base soon.
Awesome.
So that would be cool.
Oh, wow. That'd be
yeah, we've got to work with the point of contacts there, but love to be able to go out and show it around military spaces. And then after that, we've got other projects that we've got in pre-production. So
that's right.
We have one project called Fastest in the Flats. Yeah. It's a movie about building motorcycles and then racing them in Bonneville to try to get a speed record for a class of motorcycle. So if you've watched The World's Fastest Indian, you know, there'll be similar footage in there, but ours will be real, because, you know, that's what we do. We do documentary. So, but yeah, we're going to go through the process. We've got some of our contributors who want to build motorcycles, and we're going to go through it. It'll take us about 2 years. It'll take us 2 years to film it because of the events that they need to participate in, and then however long it takes us to edit and get post-production. So it could be about 2.5 years, but really fun projects. I love doing documentary because I love telling real stories about real people. There's power in narrative. I'm not trying to take that away from those folks, but I'm just really drawn to the truth that I can see with a camera. And one of the things that, you know, we've got all this AI stuff happening right now, and, you know, we're not hiding from AI. We're not afraid of it. It's a tool. We'll use it as appropriately. But in documentary, there's so much power in the truth and in the reality. So I think that people are going to be more thirsty for truth, more thirsty for documentary.
Yes.
because of all of the AI? And do I even know if I can trust my eyes at this point?
That's what's going on out there. I heard something. People can do all the AI and the short and looking for the right algorithm and going short form versus long form and just getting the clickbait and the likes and stuff. And it's like you can try to keep up with all of that, or you can stay consistent, do what works, and create your audience. They will follow you for the content that you develop based on staying true to your values. And I think that is what you're alluding to, and that's what I want to do with this show. And just we'll gain traction. We'll change it up as we go. As I'm learning, I'm learning along this process. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's helping me grow as an individual. And wow, I love it. I don't want to cut it away and chase all this stuff. I do use AI. I'm learning it as much as I can, many different forms. It's helping me in work professionally and for the show and how I speak to other people. It's really changed how I communicate. And there's a lot of interoception happening. And so I think AI is, I don't think it's good or bad. It's just this very big, scary tool, and it's happening so fast. But as long as we stay human and remember the people in front of us are real people with, real emotions, real pain, real joy. Let's experience all of it together without a filter. Like today, no filter, no fucks, whatever. It's life when it's raw and it's beautiful. And I'm so grateful I get to show up for it today because, both of us have been through a lot of war, personally and professionally, and we're here to support other people through that and to give them a platform to share their story and their voice. And we're always looking for, a change up. Of course, it's nice to have a spin and a hook and all that and shock and awe. But most of that is just what is going to get the community to see what's really happening, the statistics. You're like, Papa Snoop said, I love the community here. Well, I got an email because I'm on the board of the Southwest Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for your support. And retired colonel, he goes, hey, I just got this newsletter that we were number 36 out of 50, which is low out in the United States for, the veterans support and how well we're doing. We need to be trending up to number 1, right? And we're 36. I think we moved from 37 to 36 or, something like that recently. That's not enough. And he's like, we got to do better. What are we going to do? Where's the initiative? Where's some ideas? And I'm like, wow, that puts it into perspective. We got some work to do. Like we said on the Home of Record show a couple of weeks ago, the numbers are kind of trending down, but there still means progress possible, but there's still work to do.
Yeah. So
we can't rest on our laurels. It's like, okay, celebrate the win. Hoo-yah, but let's keep going. There's always room for growth. And for me, my standards are high for myself. And I think if we just kind of champion those small victories over time, we can see a huge development. And it just doesn't happen overnight. Those overnight successes. Say nobody hears about your show until it is on this big platform and you're like this big filmmaker with an EGOT. You've won all the awards, the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, the Tony. Yeah, and they're like, where'd this guy come from? It happened overnight. No, it took a lot. It took a lot for you to process your pain and turn it into this beautiful storyline and helping other people. And I could just rant because I think so highly of you. And your wife is a total badass.
She's awesome.
Wow. Holding you up, holding the family. And I didn't know she was such a rock star at ASU.
Yeah, my wife's director of enrollment services at ASU.
Okay.
She's got a couple of campuses that report to her, and she's there to help students get their degrees. That's her drive and her focus is a passion for education. I don't exactly know how to articulate the best way of what her personal passion is, but I know that she loves giving people access to education, and that is her personal driver. She's watched me kind of roam around in the career fields and go through different experiences and different life, and she's like, I don't really get your struggle because I'm where I'm supposed to be. she's been at ASU for a long time. I'm not going to say how long, but she's been there. She's part of the furniture, and she's one of those people who helps make it happen, and that gives her so much joy. Our sons, Cole and Christian, are going through ASU right now, junior and what's below junior, sophomore? Yeah, junior and sophomore. And, you know, she's loving it, eating it up every day, gets to go to work, and she gets to see her sons at work. So super cool. And they both work at ASU. So it's like we're a whole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We bleed maroon and gold.
Bunch of devils.
Oh, a bunch of devils. So, yeah. No, it's important to have that support, and it's important to be that support.
Yeah. So does she work with Wanda Wright?
So Wanda Wright, Lieutenant Colonel Wanda Wright from the
Awesome.
Office
I
of
love her.
Veteran
She's
and
amazing.
Military Academic Engagement.
Oh,
It's a
baby.
long acronym. My wife works in the registrar's office, so she works with kind of everyone at ASU because everybody at ASU has students that have to come in. So she touches in a lot of spaces. She does a lot of work with Pat Tillman Veterans Center, where I used to work. That's how we met.
Yeah. That's where you found your Treks for Vets.
Yep, Treks for Vets is their project. That's what they did.
Is that still active?
It is still it happens twice a year, so each semester they do an event. I believe their next one is in March, and then they do one in the fall as well. In like, I think it's usually over fall break, so it would be
they're
like
both good
October.
seasons for summer.
Correct.
For Arizona weather.
It's avoiding the summer. That's
Yeah.
the main goal. Because if you're gonna do a bunch of hiking, you don't want to do it in the middle of summer.
Yeah. And the ED of the Pat Tillman Center runs that Treks for Vets.
Yeah. Yep. So Sean Bonzoff and then Michelle Lepowski run the show there, and they put on a great experience. If you've never been, Treks for Vets is a really cool experience where you go out into the wilderness, and there's some books there's a handbook that they give you so you can go do readings, but then there's also just hiking and being in nature and this experience with other veterans. It's really cool. So I definitely recommend it. I've done it twice now, and I really enjoy it. The priority is students who are attending ASU, so you would want to do that. But other than that, yeah, it's a great experience. If you want to support it, they accept donations, and they give a really great experience, and it's been really powerful.
That's so great. I received an email from your wife inviting me to the ASU Women Veterans
Rise Conference.
The Rise Conference, yes. So I will be tabling that event and being involved in it. I think it's so great to bring the female veterans out here with the volunteer or with the veterans at ASU and bringing more women veterans together. So we just had every first Monday, the East Valley Women Veterans Group, we have a Monday night muster. We have an activity. It's different every month. And this month was our second gardening class with retired Lieutenant Colonel Wanda Wright. And she's, got the green thumb, and she taught us some really cool stuff. I've never been engaged or intrigued by any of that, but I learned a lot. And then I called my sister who has a green thumb, and I was like, did you know? And I just went off like a nerd, and she goes, yes, sis, I know all these things. I'm like, well, it's fun. It's exciting trying new things. And I didn't know what heirloom meant. Like, I thought it was just an heirloom tomato. And then when they're like, like an heirloom, like you hand off an heirloom to your children, or heirloom means it's like the mother of and I was like, oh, like total blonde. I'm not a real blonde, but I had a blonde moment. No offense to blondes. Just things like that. I think it's to build capacity within ourselves, build capacity within the community, trying new things. You never know what's going to be helpful. And these Monday night musters that we do every month, it's really important to bring the women out to celebrate. It's like we're not a crying peer support group, but it's dynamic, right? So within all of these events that we do, there is the camaraderie that's building and the like-minded struggle of two individuals. They can kind of separate themselves from the herd and talk amongst themselves and find the nurturing that they need there. And it works in all of these things. And in any element, any community setting, I think if you just be a little open-minded, get a little uncomfortable, that's where healing begins, is getting outside of your comfort zone and giving yourself just a chance, an opportunity to see beyond the veil. And then one day, the matote, as the Four Agreements says, lifts, the fog is gone, and you get to see the world through new eyes of love, and love for yourself, love for others. And then that's where change begins. And if you want to change the world globally instead of fighting about it, you can change things locally. And the ripple effect is very real. And you've done that with your film. So thank you for creating that and putting it out into the world. And for the way that you've described the little micro to the macro, it's beautiful. You are a great person, and I wish you well with your next endeavor. And I'm so grateful we get to continue to do the show and show all the people the messy in between and the build of it all, and that we're doing it live here, and people get to watch it grow. And it's like you can start somewhere too and build something for yourself and for your community, and just start. Just start today. Start messy. Start unprepared. Whatever. Just start. Right?
Yeah, I think the veterans are really good at figuring out what's the next right step. Because if you can just figure out what the next right step is, and then you figure out the next step and the next step, then you can get shit done, right? And that's my favorite phrase. That comes from Team Rubicon. Volunteer with Team Rubicon. They do really good work helping with humanitarian efforts, and they are a fun organization. But their thing is GSD, get shit done. And that's the important thing, right? Just figure out what the next right thing is. You figure out what the next right thing is, then we can keep moving on, and we can accomplish these huge goals. My wife always kind of makes jokes about like how the heck does Jack get this big thing that he says he's going to do? He has no clue what he's doing, has no idea, but he just does the next right thing. And that is literally true. Like,
same, dude.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I know hire my weaknesses and get the next thing done. And those two things are that's what I'm doing in my life right now, is I'm bringing in people who know better than I do. If you're in a room and you're the smartest person, you're in the wrong room. Get out. Go and be in a different space. So, yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. I'm right there with you in the same philosophy. Hiring some people here who, can help run these programs. And it's been interesting. And I'm like, I'm not going to be the smartest person in the room. And it's like,
that's a good thing.
My, one of my executive coaches, she's like, what is your objective? What's the objective? Okay, if you want to get, like you said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I want that thing. Well, what are you going to do to get there? You got to put aces in their places, hire the right folks. So I can be the visionary, the leader, and put those people in pursuit of that ultimate goal. And that's how you build it, one day at a time. One, just piecemeal. How do you eat an elephant? Please don't eat elephants. I love them. Yeah. But yeah, so we got a couple things coming down in the future. We're hitting a lot of hiccups, building here, and there's just a lot of things. But it's like, all right, okay, you threw a fit, you threw a grenade. It was a foam grenade, but then you're just like, all right, what's the next thing that I can control? We can pivot. We have other solutions. It might not look like what you want it to look like, but it's a step in the right direction. And then you just call people and ask for help. Because if you really want something, you can absolutely get it inch by inch. Life is a cinch, yard by yard. Life is hard. Take it one day at a time. Give yourself a break. Find some compassion. And you're not alone. There are tools out there that you can pick up. Like, we can put the link for the Project 24/7 app in the bio. And if you're struggling outside of that, you can dial 988, press option 1 for help. And you can follow Jack. And where are we going to be seeing the documentary in the future?
Yeah, I don't have that answer yet, but it's coming soon. My goal is Apple TV and Prime.
Nice.
So I think we get it on those two platforms. That'll cover pretty much our audience, people who want to watch it. But it's not yet. So as soon as it is, follow us at Not a Draft Documentary on Instagram, and you will see the news there. You can also check out some behind the scenes at www.thisisnotadraft.com.
Yes, please look into it. It's a beautiful piece of art. And your wife is also in it too.
My wife's
making
in it.
some bread with a veteran. Very cool. And that just kind of brings, countries together in the humanness of it. Wow. Thank you for bringing that to us, Jack. And thanks for helping me build this show and this center. It's just amazing. And I love the people that are showing up and the people that leave and the people that come back. And all of it. And I hope you guys come down and check out the center too and see how you can help be a part of this build, because there's so much that's going into it. And we need you and we need us. So don't forget to love on yourself and make some goals and Make them happen little by little. You can do it. And if you need some help, come down here and we'll help you out. Give us a call or visit us online. We got your six. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Spotlight. Oh, we did pretty good. Thank you, guys.